Need something?
Got a few interesting leads for you. Check the mission boards. I triple-checked my work. Last thing I need is an angry pirate on my ass telling me the intel sucked.
Tell us about your arrest.
Oh, my arrest was spectacular. Definitely one for the record books. UC Security sent an armada after our little fleet of ships and picked us off one by one until the remainder of us made it to the wheel.
For our listeners' benefit, that was the star station in orbit around Voli that you destroyed just before your arrest, correct?
You see, that's what they'd have you believe, but the truth is much less sinister. There was a firefight on the wheel when they tried to bring us in. We holed up, but UC Security unleashed hell. The damage they caused was catastrophic. We only surrendered so we wouldn't die when the station exploded.
Well, the UC says you set demolition charges to try and cover your tracks and make your escape.
That's their story. You'll have to go with your gut on what you think really happened. Anyway,
As
they took
long
us
as
in
you
and
put
tossed
the
us
fleet
into the
first,
lock.
we
That
won't have
lovely
any problems.
resort they opened on Suvorov.
And you were imprisoned there for how long?
UCC staff
Well, it was supposed to be for life, Gail.
They're just bait.
But I ended up serving 2 years before I decided I'd had enough.
Is there any particular reason that you started the riots that eventually led to the worst prison break in United Colonies history?
Yes. I'm quite proud of that.
Is this important? Because I'm
honestly
pretty
didn't
sure you've
think
been
it
given
would go
orders.
as well as it did. As for the reason, well, it's simple. The UC were treating us like animals. The conditions in the lock were ridiculously bad and no one cared.
Were my instructions
That's why they stuck us
unclear?
on that ice ball in the
What do you
first
want?
place. Out of sight, out of mind.
Your escape caused the deaths of many that were stationed at the lock. Some would brand that as a bit dismissive for what you're describing as a protest. If you were simply advocating for your fellow inmates, why didn't you just go through the proper channels?
And what the hell was I supposed to do? Send a strongly worded letter to my duly appointed representative? Wake up. The UC only responds to actions, not words. In my mind, there was no other choice. You know what? Let's move past my time at the lock so we can get to the point of this goddamned interview.
Tell us what the future holds for the Crimson Fleet.
Were my instructions unclear? What do you want?
Changes are coming, Gale. Huge
Don't you have
changes.
business on Suvorov?
Crimson Fleet will soon be a much bigger player in this little game between the members of the settled systems.
That's quite a bold statement. Would you care to elaborate?
Well, let's just say that I'm on the brink of a score so large, it makes everything else pale in comparison. Beyond that, you'll just have to wait and see.
If you aren't willing to discuss the details, why grant SSNN this interview?
Simple. I refuse to allow the UC to spin or bury the story, making it sound like they're in complete control of the situation. I'm gonna tell you right now, they aren't.
Why does the Crimson Fleet need to make this mysterious move that you're being so evasive about?
I know SysDef instructed you to draw this meeting out as long as possible. So let me sum this up. I intend to make sure that the Crimson Fleet becomes the United Colony's worst nightmare. And nothing, I mean nothing in this universe, will stop me from achieving that goal.
There are those that would disagree with you and claim this interview is grandstanding, or worse, a recruitment tool. After all, SSNN reaches every corner of the settled systems, and your aspirations could inspire the directionless to turn to the fleet.
You and the sheep that listen to your garbage can believe whatever the hell you want. you were so worried about what I had to say, you wouldn't have allowed yourself to be brought here.
Hell yeah. After the payoff, we headed straight to Neon and dosed out for a week. Or got so zoned after.
Hope you can succeed at that before we are discovered.
There I am. You see security on my tail, and my grab drive just chokes. You know what I find back there? The fattest leech I've ever seen. Worm nearly got me dusted.
Let me just ask you one final question before we wrap up.
Fine. Go ahead.
You looking to start something?
When
Because I'll
is
finish.
enough going to be enough? How many credits does Jasper Criggs need until he's satisfied?
I should have expected you to ask such a stupid question. How the hell could you ever understand? You with your fancy education and your sheltered upbringing and your cushy media job. Me, I came from nothing. Everything I own, I've literally drawn blood to gain.
There's no need to get personal. I'm simply trying to state the facts so that our listeners can make judgments of their own.
Lady, I got news for you. Half of your listeners think I'm a hero. The other half are scared out of their goddamn minds, and they should be.
Perhaps we should talk about something else.
No, that's it. We're done. Can you guys get her the hell out of here? Make sure she takes all this sound equipment with her.
Well, that's it then. Thank you for your...
Actually, before you go, Gail, there's one more thing I would like to say.
Yes, of course. What is it?
When you broadcast this interview on SSNN, I want you to remember that I'll be listening. If you edit even one word or manipulate my voice to change anything I've said, I will hunt you down and kill you in front of everyone. Do you understand?
I understand. You have my word.
So wait, say that again. You think I'm who?
Stop playing games. We both know your real name is Leonel Soto, and you know why I'm here.
Who are you? Fleet? Ecliptic? An independent?
I am sick of using the trade
I've
authority to
spent 2
clean
long
goods.
years and
Radley's the
every
real
credit
thief
I
on this
had
station.
looking for you, just so I could look you in the eye before I pulled the trigger.
Hey, what's with the gun? There must be some mistake. I honestly don't know who you are.
Of course you don't know who I am. You're never concerned with the death you leave in your wake, in your pursuit of greed. You killed my husband, you son of a bitch! And now I'm going to kill you!
Such a terrible shame. All that time and money she wasted. Ah, well. Better get rid of the body.
Yeah? Where did your stellar rise to infamy begin?
In the streets of New Atlantis. No parents, no godparents. Just a homeless punk kid robbing whoever he could for the credits.
Were these violent crimes? Murders?
I'm a bit offended you even asked that question, Gail. Sure, a few people here and there walked away with injuries, but I'm not some kind of butcher.
That doesn't sound as heartless as your reputation would imply.
Well, like I said, I was just a kid.
Were you ever caught by the authorities in New Atlantis?
Oh, dozens of times. I'd just give them a fake name, or they just slap me on the wrist and send me on my way. They obviously didn't think that I'd amount to anything, and didn't want to waste
If you got
their
any
time
spare
with
creds, you just need
rehabilitation.
to unload some junk,
What
head to the
changed that?
depot.
Was it the robbery in 2218?
2218. Oh.
Pirates and alcohol. What could go wrong in a place like this?
That would be when I rounded up a few of my buddies and we knocked the place over. Made off with a ton of credits. My first big score.
Is that why the Crimson Scar
Got mixed
decided to bring
feelings
you
about
into
my
their
last
ranks?
job. On the one
That's
hand,
right.
lost a
They
friend.
brought me in, taught me the ropes, and I did crimes for them for 5 years. Till I decided I wanted more. I got rid of their leader, put myself in his place, and started running the show. I've been the one in charge ever since.
Was it absolutely necessary to cut his throat and leave the body on a public street in the well?
Nova will get you in the
On the street, reputation is everything. I wanted everyone in the city to know that Jasper Cricks was taking over. I think they got the message.
Is Samina seeing anyone right now? The patients, I mean. I gotta sort him. grog. I'd literally wrap my hands around a man's throat and squeeze.
If you need credits, hit up the mission boards at the core.
Maybe. We haven't decided.
The hell you see who never crushed it. They'd have to catch us first.
It's just,
I
thinking,
heard this was sister.
why is it every time we go out and do a job, it's you who ends up with all our creds?
My friend's got a point, Bug. Every pirate in this joint comes to the Nova for a drink.
Seems to me, instead of trawling deep space for stink change, we got a much bigger target.
I used to work for a megacorp. Wore a monkey suit and everything. Seems like a different time.
If I had a billion creds, I'd run my own city, like they do. Except in my town, you could do Aurora anywhere.
Hey, Cap, you hiring? Got some baddies on my tail and I need a place to lay low. I suppose I can't rightly blame you for that. It's the Varun Zealots. They've been on my tail a while. And they're easy enough to avoid in places like this, but I'm history if they see my ship cruising around the space lanes again. If the Varun Zealots don't sound like a problem to you, then I can't wait to see what you're made of. Sure, fine by me. I'm looking forward to the adventure. Sounds like a plan. Let's catch up later. Thanks again for the save.
Yeah?
Been hearing some stuff about the Mantis being back. If I ever find that bastard, the things I do to them.
Get you a drink? Oh, I was wondering when you'd wander my way. The name's Fergus. Fergus Wickham. But you could call me Bog. Welcome to the last Nova, where the drinks are never free. Guilty? You name it, I got it. Although, I can't speak to quality. We don't believe in expiration dates here as long as it gets the job done. Got it back in my experimental days. Before we fixed up Nova, she was a real boggy mess, see? Practically an indoor swamp. I figured some of what's growing around here could make some decent booze. Some might say I only got the booze part right. As long as you're buying, stay as long as you like. The last Nova never sleeps, so no last call here. Since it's your first time with us, I'm willing to make an exception to the rule and offer you my speciality. On the house. 1 free bottle of Bog's Grog. That's the spirit. I knew you'd be the adventurous type. And if you like it, you're in luck. Cheapest drink you can find, and guaranteed to drown those sorrows. Now that's a trade secret, mate, and a homegrown one at that. But nothing to worry about. I've been serving it up going on 20 years now. Only things that have killed my customers are bullets and stupidity. Nova wasn't always the lovely sight you see before you. She used to be a hydro farm and put up quite a fight when we decided to give her a makeover. Overgrown water everywhere. I almost gave up. But what's a proper home without a pub, eh? Well, let's have a look now. Next time you need a pint, come and find me.
In the fleet, you either put up, shut up, or die. Your choice.
Are you looking to start something? Cause I'll finish it.
Rogue,
I hope Bug has something strong enough to knock me out.
I do not care what assurances you have been given that we are safe here. I do not trust the Crimson Fleet.
Good luck with... How's the mission coming along? We have contacts throughout the settled systems that require shipments of illegal goods. Smuggling requires a bit of subterfuge since we'll be loading up your ship with contraband. If you want to make that delivery without getting caught, you'll need shielded cargo space to accommodate the goods. Good, because I do hate repeating myself. I'm constantly scanning for valuable shipments. You'll be given a target ship transport in the system to track them down. Just be sure you have the cargo space to get the goods. You'll get a location with the target goods. We don't care how you get it, as long as you deliver. You get caught, that's on you. If you need credits, you know where to find me.
Gotta make sure to train every day. Bad aim and bad health will get you killed.
Need a drink? Bog at the Last Nova will be more than happy to take you credits.
Ship services? You need it, I've got it. So, looks like we got ourselves a new rook. Once again, I'm Jazz, resident engineer here. Like Neva said, you need ship parts, repairs? I'll hook you up. As long as your credits are good. Neva's mine, so don't be getting any ideas. She may be a little rough around the edges, but she's just looking out for her own. There's no one better to have your back. Neva's the only one who calls me that, amongst other things. To you and everyone else, it's just plain old Jazz. Oh, it did when I first got here. Most of these folks aren't too keen on maintenance. Today, the key's about as safe as any other UC station, just with a hell of a lot more personality. I can guarantee your ship will be in good hands, so if you're looking for an upgrade, let me know. We got the best selection in the settled systems. Illegal, unregistered, recalled. We sell it all. No questions asked. No. You buy from me, you're worry-free. I can't have my customers getting caught now, can I? That's bad for business. Anything that keeps the UC and Freestar Rangers off your tail is a must-have in my book. Just let me know when you want to talk business. Truth is, the fleet rescued me. Of course, I wouldn't have needed rescuing if they hadn't blown up the ship I was working on. Delgado plucked me out of space and brought me to the Key. I took one look at the place and was compelled to work. Soon after, he offered me a permanent spot with the fleet. Serious enough that you don't have a chance in hell? Neva's got a fire in her, the kind you only see in an engine pushed to its limit. She doesn't half-ass a damn thing, and I love her for it. Sure, it's not like I'm busy keeping this rust bucket of a station from falling apart. Sounds like fun. Let's see what I've got.
Smuggling beats a real job any day.
It would seem that none of the wealth stolen over the decades has been spent on upkeep for the station. This bodes poorly.
Yeah?
Every captain here's earned their stripes, bleeding for the fleet.
A slow ship will get you caught. Talk to Jazz if you need upgrades.
If you want to stay under the radar, I've got just the thing.
I heard Isla's sister is some hardcore mercenary. I wouldn't get on her bad side. We may not have official security on the key, but we are always looking out for traitors.
I hope wherever you store that, the smell will not be an issue.
Are you looking to start something? 'Cause I'll finish it.
So tell us about Jasper Cricks's version of the Crimson Scar.
All I can tell you is that under my guidance, the Crimson Scar became more influential than every other syndicate combined. Here I was, 22 years old, and I had power, people that followed my orders, and an endless stream of credits. Kale, I have to tell you, I was having the time of my life.
Look good and protect your ass at
So
the same
you consider
time.
extortion, robbery, burglary, kidnapping, assault, and murder to be positive life influences?
No.
I hope you do not have
I
any loose
consider them
cred
as
sticks.
just means
I
to an
fully
end.
expect you would find
Those
them
so-called
missing.
crimes
when
were
we-
merely stepping stones until I had enough wealth to buy the Crimson Scar a few spacecraft.
Yes, let's talk about that. It appears you weren't satisfied with terrorizing New Atlantis alone.
Oh, I've never stopped reaching, Gale. The amount of money we were making in New Atlantis was decent, but the really big scores were in space.
I hope
on
you've
the
brought me
cargo
something
ships.
interesting.
We're talking millions of credits, maybe more. Who the hell could count it all?
Most people assume this is when the UC decided to actively set up a task force to pursue the Crimson Scar.
That's correct. Those idiots in charge of the United Colonies were clearly embarrassed that they had allowed the Crimson Scar to make the jump into space. They sent ships after us. Lots of ships. I almost think that they enjoy starting wars.
Perhaps this was the first time you had finally reached too far.
You could say that. I count my time running the Crimson Scar as a learning experience. I wouldn't say I reached too far. I'd say I reached too fast. Didn't cover all my bases. Made some stupid mistakes. One thing's for certain, though. When I was finally arrested and thrown into the lock, I had plenty to think about.
Is something wrong? First time visiting the infirmary, huh? Let me give you a piece of advice. Try not to get into too many bar fights. I'm trying to save my dwindling supplies for sale and pirates coming in off of raids. I've done my time, but thanks to a malpractice suit, I've officially dropped the doctor title. Don't let that worry you. I'm still just as good, if not better, than half the surgeons at the clinic. That's what they all say, until they stumble in bleeding out on my floor. So here's what's what. You need med packs, curatives, preventatives, I've got you covered. At least as long as my current supply holds out. You need enhancers, legal or illegal? I've got those too. Hopefully that won't be often. Now, if you don't need anything else, I've got a particularly annoying supply issue to deal with. You'd think most of the injuries I treat are from run-ins with security or civilians taking a stand. But I'd say at least half are just life on the key. Brawls, egos, and plain old stupidity. At least it keeps me busy. Now there's an offer I didn't expect. If you really want to help, I'm looking for someone who can handle themselves in a public setting. As in someone who knows how to get the job done without shooting up the place. Well, you'd be one of the first. I politely requested a list of supplies from Gennady Aton at the clinic and was told the price of business has gone up. I think he's back on Aurora, and he's upcharging me to pay for it. And if there's one thing I'm not going to do is subsidize his habit. I want you to make sure he delivers my supplies for the price we agreed on, but without raising any alarms. We'll see. Talk is one thing, actions are another. Oh yeah, the funny thing is, he's the poster boy for upstanding moral citizens. Top of the class at nursing school, did volunteer work in backwater settlements, a reputation you could eat your food off of. Nobody knows he did it all zoned out of his mind. Nobody except his old boss, me. He said he got clean when he joined the clinic, But now I wonder. A bullshit one, yeah? Gennady claims prices have gone up for the clinic as a whole, and that I'm not the only doc being hit. He says if I want cheaper goods, I'm going to have to find another supplier. He even gave me a list. But I'm not turning to some third-rate doc selling meds out of their space truck. Gennady and I had a deal, and I want him to honor it. Try not to die out there.
Been hearing some stuff about the Mantis being back. If I ever find that bastard, the things I'd do to them.
I hope you came with credits. If it's hard to find, I've probably got it. I was raised fleet. My mama joined up when I was 12. She was a first-class smuggler. We'd always lived comfortably, but she took the offer to join when a job almost went south. She figured if anything ever happened to her, it'd guarantee I'd still have a home. Not quite. I still lost my mama to the Freestar Rangers. She could have surrendered, but she'd rather die than be caged up for the time she'd have to serve. I've come to respect her decision to go down fighting, but I'll never forgive those Rangers for killing her. I sell a little bit of everything, but only if it's hard to find, and only for a high price. Neuroamps, a few unique resources, maybe a specialized weapon or two. Anything that's rare and in high demand. Haha, now you're speaking my language. Don't miss me too much.
Looking to make a deal? What'll it be, friend? Buying? Selling? The Trade Authority takes anything and everything. Yeah, like you don't know. Oh, you really don't know, do you? To the public, we promote free trade throughout the galaxy. You see, Freestar Independent, doesn't matter. To you and your friends here, same rules still apply. We buy and sell any goods, no questions asked. A well-kept appearance gives the impression of a respectable establishment. The more respectable the place, the more credits people are willing to pay. The fleet's got an impressive commerce system. They even managed a legitimate doctor among their ranks. Business on the Key is like no other. It's the sole reason I'm here, for the credits. There are a few who share that sentiment. You'd think a successful business relationship would change their minds, but a few will always see me as an outsider. Regardless, as long as the fleet has goods to push, the Trade Authority will always maintain a presence on the Key. Always looking forward to something mutually beneficial. Remember, all trades are restriction-free.
Ask Jazz about any ship upgrades.
I hope you actually
Nothing worse
need
than a pirate ship
components.
with no
I hate
personality.
them. This better be worth it. Oh, bye, I guess.
Heading out. Wanna... Well, only the best protective gear you can find. I'm here if you need me.
Looking to make quick work of your enemies? Well, well. Neva's new hotshot. I knew you'd find your way back to my little corner of the key. Everyone always does. Hey, if you want to pour credits into my pocket, you won't hear any arguments from me. I carry most of the standard hardware. You know, kinetics, electromags, energy, even a few explosives. Occasionally, I stock a few smuggled items. Basically the stuff SysDev doesn't want you to play with. Just don't screw me over or I'll be inclined to give you a free demo. With your head as the target. And you want me to just take your word for that? Perfect. A little advice, Sadiqi? The fleet's trust can't be bought. You earn it. You bleed for the fleet bleeds for you. Pure and simple. Anyone who says otherwise is either lying or getting ready to stab you in the back. Well, that was surprisingly easy. Most people just glaze over and learn the hard way. Maybe there's more to you than I thought. I bet I have something that will catch your eye. Need more weapons or ammo?
Don't steal from your
Come
own.
see me.
Not unless you want the whole station on your ass.
Hello, everyone. I'm Gail Dunnigan of SSNN, and this is Galactic Talk. My guest tonight is one of the most notorious criminals in the settled systems.
Always
His
listen to
ruthlessness
Delgado.
and desire for wealth has landed him squarely at the top of the wanted list for every major law enforcement agency in the galaxy.
You see
I am, of course,
SysDef as
speaking
a
of the
joke.
self-appointed
They haven't
leader
caught
of the
us
Crimson
yet.
Fleet himself, Jasper Crix. Good evening, Mr. Crix.
Good evening, Gail. Thank you for accepting my invitation.
Yes, well, being blindfolded and then Graf jumped to what appears to be an abandoned mining facility
Nothing
isn't
like
exactly
the
what I
smell of
call
a
an
dead shark
invitation.
after you cook them with
Well, I'm sure you're not surprised
Smuggling
that your
beats a
request
real
for an
job
interview
any
would come
day.
with some very specific conditions.
Frankly, I was a bit surprised to receive any type of response at all. Would you mind telling me why you decided to do this interview?
Because there comes a time in every pirate's life where they have to make an extremely important decision. Do
Captain
they
Frank.
take a leap
Hello.
and become one of the most legendary
satisfied
pirates
to see
in
that
history?
you survived your
Or do they
responsibilities
simply
years ago.
sputter on, subsisting on freighters and deep space privateers?
So are we to assume that you're taking the leap? That Jasper Cricks is moving on to bigger and better things in his life?
That's spot on, Gale. That's exactly why you're here.
Interesting. Well then, would you mind sharing with us exactly what your particular